It was a dark and stormy night on the Sea of Galilee. Thunder rumbled overhead, lightning illuminated the raging sea, and waves violently tossed a small wooden boat, threatening to tear it apart. Inside, the disciples huddled together, fear etched on their faces. Hours ago, they had sailed under calm skies, confident they would reach their destination quickly. But now, the storm had stolen all hope, leaving them exhausted, afraid, and desperate. Peter, a seasoned fisherman who had faced many storms, struggled to control the sails. Even he felt fear creeping into his heart as the storm refused to weaken. He knew the danger they faced was real, yet something told him their greatest challenge was yet to come. Suddenly, through the relentless wind and rain, one of the disciples pointed toward the dark waters and shouted, "Look, out there!" Everyone's eyes followed, hearts racing. Through the storm, barely visible, a figure moved calmly atop the furious waves, walking steadily toward them. Panic erupted among the disciples. "It's a ghost!" someone cried, gripping the boat's edge. They scrambled back, terrified. Only Peter strained forward, squinting into the darkness, desperate to understand what he saw. His mind raced. Could it really be a ghost? Then, cutting through the chaos, came a clear, gentle voice. "Take courage. It is I. Do not be afraid." It was unmistakable. It was Jesus. Peter's heart surged, but his fear was replaced by awe and a powerful curiosity. The storm still battered them, yet somehow Jesus stood calmly, untouched by wind or wave. Peter, unable to contain himself, called out boldly, "Lord, if it really is you, command me to walk to you on the water." The other disciples gasped, stunned by his request. They knew the dangers. The water churned violently. The waves were treacherous. Yet Peter's eyes never left Jesus. A simple response echoed over the storm, "Come." Peter moved to the boat's edge, breathing heavily. He gripped the rail, his knuckles white, and stepped out onto the raging sea. To his astonishment and the astonishment of everyone watching, his feet found firm footing. He stood balanced, defying the very laws of nature. He began walking forward, step by careful step, eyes fixed firmly on Jesus. Each step brought greater confidence, strength surging through him. For a brief, incredible moment, Peter walked upon the waves. But suddenly Peter's focus shifted. The wind roared louder, the waves rose higher, reality rushed in, breaking his concentration. Panic flashed through his eyes. His gaze fell away from Jesus, toward the violent, raging sea beneath him. Fear surged in his chest, shattering his confidence. In an instant, he began sinking into the dark water. "Lord, save me," Peter screamed, arms flailing desperately, slipping deeper beneath the surface. Terror gripped him as he struggled to stay afloat, the waves pulling him under. But in his moment of greatest desperation, a strong hand reached down, gripping his own and pulling him upward. As he gasped for breath, Peter's eyes met the calm, steady gaze of Jesus, who gently asked, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" The storm quieted as they stood upon the water, the chaos around them suddenly subdued, the disciples watching in silent awe. Jesus guided Peter back toward the boat, each step steady upon the now calming sea. Peter's heart pounded, not from fear anymore, but from deep reflection. They climbed into the boat, and immediately the winds ceased. A profound silence filled the air. The disciples stared, mouths agape, minds struggling to understand the miracle they'd witnessed. Then quietly, one whispered, "Truly, you are the Son of God." Peter, sitting silently, reflected on the events. He realized the storm around him had not been his real danger. It had been the storm within him, the fear and doubt that made him sink. Jesus turned to them all and asked softly, "Why did you doubt?" Peter had no answer, but he now understood clearly. The true test had never been about walking on water. It had always been about faith overcoming fear.